The art of letting go, because sometimes you hold on a little bit too tightly for a little bit too long. Something someone asked me this week is about my values, my three main values as an individual. And it's not that I don't have values, people don't have values, but I want to ask the same question to the two of you. Yeah? If you were to describe your three main values, what would they be? Vicky?
For me, humility, commitment, and vision.
Humility, commitment, and vision. What about you, Vanessa?
Respect, communication, and service.
I completely and utterly love that. Going back now, because we don't have much time, I need to understand these tests, right? I need to understand these tests, what kind of tests are out there, right? How much you would charge, for example, to conduct certain tests, and then in what environments are they most effective? So, for example, is it someone looking to change careers like you did? Is it somebody looking to go to the next level in their career? Is it someone looking to unlock maybe a trauma or to understand a certain aspect of their personality that they may not even acknowledge exists, right? I learned a valuable lesson this week. Stopping and doing nothing. Worked out perfectly, actually. Resolved itself, right? It's like the pendulum. It's thinking like, how do I stop it? How do I stop it? Just leave it alone. It'll stop itself. So tell me about the different types of tests, maybe three main tests, right? One that you would suggest that the average person, the average middle manager conducts on themselves, or maybe the average, department conducts during a retreat. I don't know. And then we can take it from there.
Okay. So one basic one is a personality assessment. So it could be DISC, it could be MBTI. DISC is easy to explain. It tells you things in, I think, the quadrants are easy to understand. MBTI might need a little bit more unpacking. So that I recommend. It will cost you from maybe 3,000-4,000 bob on the internet to the more validated tools cost about 10 to 15,000. So it's an investment that you make long term. If you're talking about career, then perhaps you need to also do the checks, the 180, the 360. You need to get feedback from your peers, possibly the people that are reporting to you, and maybe even your manager on really how do you show up at work, because that gives you actionable data on the things that you're doing well. For example, if you're not delegating well, you're going and carrying all the work to the house, you're doing yourself a disservice, and maybe you're not even aware. So you really understand the gaps for what they are, and not you think, I'm very outspoken and no one wants to listen to me, but there are other issues there. So I would recommend 360 or 180 for anyone in management and for most corporates. It gives you more rounded feedback. And I do recommend that you do an EI test. Just check your level of self-awareness, self-introspection, check your level of your ability to be aware of others, your ability to express your emotions authentically but effectively. So you're not doing it at the expense of someone else's emotions. What kind of things do you prefer when it comes to self-management? Are you more the workout person? Are you a social recharger? So again, beginning to understand how you're going to equip yourself from an EI perspective to take on whatever it is. I find that, and I'm sure she'll confirm, if a person comes to you about their career, it's not only the career that they need adjusting. So be open. Be open, and every single time you take this test because you're feeling unsettled, be open for what could actually happen.
Vanessa, I want to ask you about how we're self-medicating as a society. Right? I know that's a very technical thing for me to ask you, but with regards to life coaching, we have challenges. Yeah, we have trauma. We have tasks. We have responsibilities. Yeah. So I just want to understand from a unhealthy coping mechanism, right? Can we unpack some unhealthy coping mechanisms so that we can then call them what they are and then try and then figure out how to then segue to healthy coping mechanisms? Is that something you want to take on right now?
Yeah, sure. I think one of them would also be, drinking. I think that's the most common one, especially in Kenya or Nairobi. You find people out any day of the week, ready for a party, and I think that's one of the biggest problems we're facing right now, is that people are unhappy, and that's a coping mechanism, that I can't wait to get home and have a drink or go out and have a drink. Another one would be sleeping, that I'm so stressed out right now, and let me just take a nap. And when I wake up, it'll be fine. But it's not fine because you're waking up to the same problem, right? Another one is sometimes overindulging in sports even, that I'm just going to go and train at the gym, 24 hours a day, and that will solve everything. So I think it's anything that you do that will deter you or prevent you from carrying out your day-to-day, I think is a negative coping mechanism. Because if you're becoming deviant, then it's a behavioral, problem where you're not able to do the things that you're supposed to. And those were just a couple of the coping mechanisms that I see a lot of people starting to turn to.
You've given advice already, Vanessa, for personal growth and for managers, right? What are some of the tools you can equip managers with so that they can become more effective as they carry out their tasks and help organizations to grow, irrespective of industry, right? I know you've analyzed a lot of the landscape. So just to try and understand, as a manager, and not just looking at them as individuals in an office, but also as people who have lives outside of where they work.
Yeah.
What can you equip them with right now? I know I'm throwing you under the bus there. I know it's like solve the manager's problem now. Completely.
The manager has, I mean, when we review the manager, usually we find that they've been promoted because they're technically gifted and equipped, not necessarily for their people skills side of things, and they've been put at a place where now they're expected to have people skills. They are expected to continue with their technical skills, and they're also being given a strategic role in the company to determine how we're going to achieve certain things that organizations want to achieve.
Yes.
So I feel that what they actually need is to first get a mentor or a coach. It's so important. You can't just learn something by going on Udemy and getting an online course. It's difficult.
Yeah.
So for me, if number one,
eCornell. Go to eCornell.
You can, and it's continuous learning.
Yeah.
Yes, but get a mentor, get a coach. They will highlight to you the things that actually will work, or actually that if you kind of pay more attention to, it will make a difference. So if there's a one thing, that will be the one thing. And then two, of course, equip yourself by getting an assessment, understand how you're showing up to others, and see what that means in terms of your effectiveness in that role.
How can people get in touch with you, Vicky Karunga?
On a day-to-day, how do people get
into take you out for dinner?
I misheard that question. Get me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on those are the two platforms I'm active. Just look for Vicky Karunga and you'll find me there.
Because once I looked for you and it was a completely different name. So I was like,
Twitter, no, Vicky Karunga, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook as well. I'm not so active, and Instagram as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Vanessa?
On all platforms across the board, it's the same. It's Life Coaching KE.
Life Coaching KE.
Yes.
How long have you been in existence as Life Coaching KE?
Officially, as a registered company, I think we're on to 2.5 years in April. So,
biggest challenge you faced so far?
Criticism.
Yes, you and I are aligned. Well, ladies, I don't know if we're going to come back. We're going to take a break and say goodbye to our KTN News audience. Thank you so much. It's been so wonderful having you on 00 Direct. SpiceFM.